Welcome to the morning after CFFL edition week 13, the end of the regular season on the CFFL network on YouTube. Well, we had a big week, end of the regular season, so let's get into it and let's see how the playoffs are going to shape up. See who all won this week. First of all, one of the games of the week, high-scoring game, not the highest-scoring game, though. The Bone Storm take down the Cardinals 71-70. Peyton Manning returned to form, 30 points. Matt Stafford had a huge day on Thanksgiving, but not enough. The Bone Storm take down the Cardinals. Cardinals still do win the division because they had more points, but a good showing by the Bone Storms to head into the playoffs. Garbage Men take down the Dingoes to make sure they get into the playoffs. Mathematically, they were all but in, but this officially clinches it. They win 68-47. They move to 7-6. Fred Jackson and Jamal Charles combined for 26 points. Steven Jackson finally showed up for the Black Dingoes as he had 16 points, but not enough this week as they fall. Horn Dogs take down the Sasquatches 64-57. Sasquatches still win their division at 8-5. Horn Dogs go into the consolation round on a little bit of a hot streak. Cam Newton 22 points. Adrian Peterson and Reggie Bush combined for 27 for the Sasquatches, but not enough to take down the Horn Dogs. Upset of the week this week as the Bruisers were favored by 2. They fall to the Badgers 95-32. Bruisers, disappointing year after Julio Jones went down, finished the year at 5-8. Badgers trying to regain some pride and build some momentum for next year. They win 95-32. No players in double figures again for the Bruisers. Ben Tate, 24 points in a monstrous effort for the Badgers. Gargoyles and Kongs in a crazy high-scoring game. Looks like an NBA score from the 80s. Kongs win 110-93. Kongs take home the number 1 seed this year. Gargoyles fall to 5-8. The so-called best drafter in the self-proclaimed best drafter in the league does not make the playoffs this year. Eric Decker had 33 points for the Kongs. Josh Gordon continues his ridiculous hot streak, and DeMarco Murray combined for 49 points. Most weeks that'll be enough, but not this week for the Gargoyles. Finally, Team LBM takes down the Donkeys 84-34. Team LBM, big week from Alshon Jeffrey, another one of those secondary receivers like Josh Gordon and Eric Decker who had big weeks. He had 26. The Donkeys only had Blair Walsh in double figures with 11. Disappointing return to the CFFL for them, but hopefully they can turn it around next year. Now we'll take a look at some players of the week, stuff like that. A lot of people to choose from this week, and then we'll preview the playoffs. Player of the week this week, I went with Eric Decker. 4 touchdowns, 174 receiving yards, 33 points, and he's married to, I don't know if she's a country singer or a model or something like that, but that's all only pictures you can pretty much find on the internet of Eric Decker. Him with his wife, apparently named Jessie J, or Jesse James, I don't know. Walk of shame this week, the Packers offense, and this is a continuing theme that started now. Jordy Nelson, Eddie Lacy, and Jarrett Boykin combined for 1 point on Thanksgiving as all the Packer fans in the league, I'm sure, were very happy to see that performance, and the anti-Packer fans had a big smile on their face. Top pickup of the week, Yobich. Jesse Pinkman says Ryan Fitzpatrick, 60 points in his last 4 weeks, 16 points this week. He's been pretty consistent, and it's a decent, fill-in if there's an injury. And Griff's gripe this week is apparently sponsored by Bites, talking about the Packers showing on Thanksgiving, which was, again, disappointing, I'm sure, for all the Packer fans out there. Thanks to the Packers for ruining Thanksgiving for everyone in Wisconsin. The defense looked as prepared as DK on draft day. The game was more one-sided than a trade with C-Web. The Packer season is now as dead as the Gargoyles' chance of winning a playoff game in this league. Dom Capers will be fired after the season faster than you can say Hutz is a dirty football player. Bites, I like that you submitted that and didn't have anything to say. Also, you could say the Packers' prospects this year have fallen faster than the Badgers from the Super Bowl into the consolation round, and not even the top consolation team. But what team? You finished with the 3rd worst record. So Bites, you can't get off the hook with ripping out other people. You have to get a little shot there too. Big games next week. Garbage Men take on the Sasquatches in the Brother Bowl. 3 seed versus number 6. And the Bone Storm take on the Team LBM, both 9-4 teams, team seed 4 versus seed 5. Remember, the higher seed, so the Sasquatches and the Bone Storm, would win in case of a tie. They'll receive half a point for home field advantage. Tying up some loose ends, prize money, some stuff we can talk about already. The Kongs won their 3rd high point of the year, and therefore get the extra $10 for the most high point wins in the year. Most points in the year, the Garbage Men set the record. with 73 points per week and earn $30 for that. And for the Kongs and Cardinals, each winning and receiving a bye, they will each make minimum of $60 this year. Previewing the playoffs right now, talking a little bit about each team's strengths and weaknesses. The Kongs are the number 1 seed, and the last 3 number 1 seeds have made the Super Bowl, and I think all won the Super Bowl. Strengths, he's got some pretty good running backs. Alfred Morris, and boy, I'm drawing a blank. Frank Gore. They've been really solid. And then Le'Veon Bell, if he's healthy, been peaking at the right time. 110 points right before the playoffs is not bad. Weaknesses: how bad is Le'Veon Bell hurt, and is A-Rod going to play again this year? Cardinals, the strength is the running back depth. He's 4 deep. We're 4 deep. Jimmy Graham and Matthew Stafford also offer a lot. Weaknesses: injuries right now. No, Sean definitely is not himself. Didn't look himself, but he hopefully will get healthy in the next 2 weeks. And Julius Thomas, hopefully is ready. Otherwise, then by Julius being hurt, weakness becomes the 3rd receiver spot. Because T.Y. Hilton has been pretty inconsistent lately, although he's always possible to go off. In a battle of the 3 versus 6 seed, the Sasquatches and the Garbage Men. Sasquatches' strengths: Adrian Peterson and Reggie Bush, very good. Demaryius Thomas has the potential to go off, and even when he doesn't, pretty much at least 4 to 5 points a week. Weaknesses: Andrew Luck, very inconsistent. Don't know what he's going to do. Colts, extremely inconsistent, so that kind of ties in with that. And the wide receiver 3. Right now, Terrence Williams, Lance Moore, so it's kind of up in the air who that's going to be. Garbage Men: Breeze, Jamal Charles, and Gronkowski. 3 superstars, and that helps. Makes him a very tough team. Weaknesses: Stephen Ridley. Is he actually going to play anymore? Otherwise, that forces Fred Jackson a bigger role, and he's more touchdown dependent. And you have a guy like Donald Brown, who I don't think you really want to rely on. And a wide receiver 3, Rod Streeter, Marcus Colston, but again, potential to go off. Streeter's kind of become the number 1, and Marcus Colston plays for a really good offense, so not too many weaknesses. Also, a little more research I can talk about in this one. Did a little digging. The early line is the Garbage Men are favored by 8. And also taking a look at some matchups this week, Adrian Peterson faces the number 2 fantasy run defense. Reggie Bush faces Philadelphia and the 17th ranked run defense, so that's a good matchup. And then Demaryius Thomas against Tennessee, who is the number 1 pass defense against receivers this year. For the Garbage Men, Drew Brees against Carolina, who's number 1 against fantasy quarterbacks, although he is pretty matchup proof. Jamal Charles against Washington and their 27th ranked fantasy run defense. And then Gronkowski versus Cleveland and their 14th ranked pass defense. It'll be close there. Brees is pretty matchup proof, so it'll be hard to say who's going to win that one. Bowling Storm take on Team LBM. Bowling Storm led by Peyton Manning, LaShawn McCoy, and A.J. Green. Peyton Manning, most weeks, is unflappable and awesome. Bowling Storm, the weakness is kind of the other receivers. Roddy White finally came through, so that would be a big help for him. Jason Witten, 2 points pretty much has been the consistency. He does get some touchdowns here and there, but the Cowboys, they're kind of spreading it around this year, so it's a little bit hard to gauge there. Team LBM, very easy to say his strengths is wide receivers. The Chicago receivers and Megatron are ridiculous. Weakness is running backs. Gio Bernard, pretty good, but more touchdown dependent, and the other one is a crapshoot. And then the quick stat research on that. Early favored Bone Storm by 9. Peyton Manning versus Tennessee and their number 3 rated quarterback pass defense in fantasy wise. A.J. Green against Indianapolis and their 28th ranked receiver pass defense. And LaShawn McCoy versus Detroit and the number 10 ranked running back fantasy defense. Team LBM led by Megatron versus Philadelphia and their 31st rated wide receiver pass defense. And then the Chicago receivers versus Dallas and their 19th ranked receiver defense. So that'll be kind of interesting to see who pulls that out. Both of them are really close. Would be hesitant to pick a winner at this point. As for picking winners, don't forget to go log on and pick a winner. Who you think is going to win the Super Bowl this year? Super Bowl 20. Also, the consolation round. This year, the Gargos and Horn Dogs will play each other in the first round. The winner of that game will face the lowest seed remaining of the 9, 10, 11, 12 teams. Loser will also advance, so it really is more or less a bye for you guys. Also, the home field advantage does go into this. 9 seed Bruisers will take on the Donkeys, and the 10 seed Badgers will play the Black Dingoes. Remember, you guys are all playing for the Jim Shavina consolation belt. So a lot of prestige there. And pretty much the team who wins it the previous year has made the playoffs. Last year, I believe Chad won it. He returned to the playoffs, so continues on. And this year, you know what, I'm going to go on a limb, Griff, and predict that you're finally going to win a playoff game, and you're going to win the consolation belt. But, wait, my phone's ringing. Oh, that doesn't count? Yeah, sorry, Griff, that still doesn't count. You're still going to keep looking for that first playoff win. Maybe after a decade you'll be able to do it, so maybe next year, Griff. So-called best drafter in the league. No playoff wins, though. That's it for the show. Sorry it ran a little long today. Good luck to everyone this week. I'm your fantasy commissioner. Trying to get a tagline here. Come up with one. It's been recommended. So that's your commissioner. Good luck this week to everyone except Team Bye. Hope you guys get killed. Okay, bye.